which title you don't get to see. I want to talk about two things tonight. I want to talk about people and technology. The people that really make an impact on who we are, and the technology and the bits and the communications that we can sort of let slip by and we'll still move on. So one key example of that is email. How many of you have more than 10,000 messages in your inbox? People in this room actually raised their hand. You're probably not going to get through all of those messages, and it would be a perfectly fine idea to archive those messages to let those bits go. Take this photo over here. She was pretty cute. I wasn't so bad myself, but that was taken in 1985, and she's probably moved on from me, so I think I can do the same from her and sort of move on from this photo and hit the delete button. It's okay to let certain things just slip by. Similarly, I was tagged in some photos, I don't know, 3 years ago on Facebook with 50 other people. Do I really still want to get emails when people comment on that? There's a lot of things that just really don't matter, and one way to sort of move those from our lives is to uncheck those contact notification things. If you want to use social media, I highly recommend stepping into the stream and stepping out of it, spending 5 minutes here and there, and then the rest of the time jumping into what you really want to work on and instead focusing. So instead I'd suggest to create a cone of silence. In other words, remove all distractions for as much of your day as possible. I know there's going to be meetings, I know there's going to be all sorts of things that you can't escape, but whenever possible, try to create that environment where you can really, really focus and where you can really thrive. There are, in fact, tools that help you with that. I don't know if any of you saw Fast Customer, which launched this week. You type in your phone number, and it calls you back when the Verizon customer support person is on the phone. Tools like mine, which notify you of urgent email messages, or Other Inbox, which clears out all the stuff you don't need to see in your inbox. And I know I've gone back to it, and if you know what I do for a living, you can sort of understand this. Checking your email really, really kills your day. Every time you get an interruption from email, it takes about 4 minutes to get back on track. We lose about 30% of our day from those interruptions. And some of it is actual, process and thought, but some of it is just, pulling out your phones right now and turning off the vibrate noise, the notifications in Gmail or Outlook. It's great that they just added those little, icons, the toast notifications in Gmail, but you really don't need that. You also don't need to pay attention to all the statistics in your life. There's things that actually do affect your day and really matter to you, those key performance indicators, and there's the stuff that's self-gratifying, if you will, that really doesn't help anybody at all, and you can really move on from. You start to realize that there's this world online that Tim spoke about, and then there's, this other world where, you can maybe make yourself into somebody that you really want to be, that you can recognize the difference between, kind of the electronic side of things, and not to say that the real world isn't electronic, but sometimes we get immersed in the things we're being reactive to. And instead, sometimes you can focus on the people that are around you. I mean, there's, 450 people here tonight, lots of amazing people who are different than us, than you, etc. And those people are really going to make more of an impact. If you think about who are the 5 people you spend the most time with, and what is the average of them, that's you. They say that people start to look like their pets. We start to look like our friends. We literally the average financially and how we dress and hobby-wise. So if you want to find yourself as a different person in 6 months, just spend a few months and start, trying to find friends that are in different places. And what will happen is if they're, way up here and you're over here and they're in an extreme spot, you're going to find yourself somewhere in the middle. You're going to find yourself just sort of naturally changing, and you're also going to notice that people like that are in a different place, they're going to want to pull you up. They're going to want to bring you to that place, and it really is just about 3 months. And with the internet, it's so easy to find sort of people in a different world. And in San Francisco, there's just so much diversity. I've changed. I moved here just a few months ago, and I find myself with totally different friends, and they bring me to those places. But sometimes I still do have to disconnect. Sometimes, we feel like just because we can be connected all the time, and we can add these people and have this extra time from productivity, that it really matters. But there's a big difference between being alone and loneliness. There is something wonderful to be said for solitude. Tonight it's really great to have 450 people around you. Tomorrow it might be okay to curl up with a book or just to sit down and write or even to go to bed early. There's nothing wrong with having that time for yourself and for, letting it sink in whatever you've been focused on during the day. So it's okay to let certain things sort of slip by in your life. Even if they're at work, it's okay. The world's going to go on. Nothing bad happens. If somebody, turns away from you tonight, the world goes on. It's totally fine. But instead, think about how you can take that time from this productivity and use it to surround yourself with people who will put you in another place. And, if you do find yourself with extra time, if you do find yourself done with your to-do list, you can pause. You can go home. You know, a lot of people in this room are probably overachievers and they want to make something with that extra time. But you don't have to make something with that extra time. You can move on. So I hope that you all can move on tonight and meet some of those 450 people. Patty and you guys and Emily, you put on an amazing event. I hope everybody here will meet somebody tonight and surround themselves with some great people. And hopefully you'll say hi to me. Thanks, guys.